Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Well, hello, everyone. It is Soulful Saturday, and you're here, and that makes me so delighted. I see June already. Hello, June. Amber and Jenny are in the house. I'm going to bet Lindsay is. There she is. Marguerite, Nancy, come on down. Who is ready? We've got a brand new quote of the week. Look at that. You're already. Carol's in the house. Hi, Carol. Hi, Carol. Who else is here? Elaine. Elaine is in the house. So's Kathy. So's Martha and Jen. Jen, I was just admiring your pictures on Facebook. What a beautiful view you have. You know how I like my views. Ha. Jackie is here. Hello. Check out this one. This is good. You're going to love this new quote of the week. If the wind will not serve, take to the oars. I put an exclamation point there. You know why? There's always an answer. Everything is entirely figure outable, to quote Marie Forleo, and find a way, to quote Diana Nyad. Come on, that's how this whole thing works. I'm happy to see Jackie and Kathy as well. So glad that you're here. I know how you feel, Jen, with a view. I mean, every single day I look at my view and just much gratitude for the whole thing. The sprint is starting in a week. Did you know that? In a week. A week from Monday is our sprint. Who's going to sprint this time? Who's going to throw it all down and go all in and just say, pinkies up, that's me. I'm all over it. Who's going to do that? Hi, Debbie, Jocelyn. Good to have you here. I'll tell you what, I am. This girl is. I am all about the sprint. I love when we sprint. I love the energy that we get when we do it together as a group, don't you? So it starts on a week from this Monday, but this Monday coming up, that is when you can sign up for the webinar, because the webinar breaks it all down. It gives you the guide, and there's lots of extra additional goodies when you attend the webinar. So check it out, savingdinner.com/sprint. Hi, Susan. Carol's already got her pinkies up. Look at her. She's ready to go on this thing. Are you kidding me? Tanya's here. Also, the supplement of the week. Hi, Lisa. Do you know supplement of the week is one of the most important things that you should be doing for yourself? Flynn understands this, don't you, Flynn? I hope so. You have an autoimmune disease? Well, so do I. And one of the most important things that we can do, especially us women with autoimmune disease, we need to support our immune system. We do that with vitamin D. This is a safe level of vitamin D. There's basically 4,000 international units. You can take that safely every day. To go higher, you need to do it with the doctor's directive, or you need to do your own testing. And remember, the last day for this supplement of the week is tomorrow. Buy 3, get 1 free. Check it out at savingdinner.com/show. This is going to tell you about our vitamin D. It's a dry vitamin D in capsule form, which is so much better, in my opinion, than getting an oil that could possibly be rancid. So check it out, savingdinner.com/show. Buy 3, get 1, and tomorrow's the last day. I do not want you to miss out on this. Hello, Alice. We also have Q&A on every single Friday. Every Friday. Hi, Tanya. I'm telling you, this is something that you need to take advantage of. You can ask me anything. I've even done hair on this show. Yes, I have. But because somebody wanted to know how this mess all came about. So there it is. You can just send in your questions to support@savingdinner.com. Question for Leanne on Friday, and there it goes. It gets in the queue, and I will answer it. Butterfly knows this. So does Corliss. Hi, Joanne. I'm glad you're here. Mary Ann, you too. So fun to have everyone aboard. I like it when you all sneak in, and I have to see you just coming on in. Okay, also don't forget about our tools. All of our success tools, which are very thoughtful, and help you every single day set up your environment for success. I want you to have them because they really do. They physiologically, psychologically do the trick. It's all proven by research. This is why we are adamant about our tools. Find them at savingdinner.com/tools. That's where they are. Or success. And next week, well, this week we've been talking all about our attitude. And I've got something for those of you who are going through some stuff. You know, if you've ever been through, anyone ever suffer? Anyone? I mean, come on. Of course, that's part of the human, experience, unfortunately. But this is how that whole thing works. So, hey, Lucy. Lucy's in the house, y'all. So I'm glad to talk about this because this is, these are the things that we need to be talking about. We need to be talking about how our attitude directly influences our suffering. And that's what we're going to talk about today because our suffering just gets us right where we live, right? You know that? Anyone suffer? Yeah. I'm glad to talk about that today, seriously, because, I feel like oftentimes, I think there's a lot of times where you feel like people just don't get you or just don't understand what's going on. But you know what? There's hope, always hope. And there's no reason for despair. And I understand despair comes and it can creep up. But I want to talk about attitude in a way that we can dial it in a little bit to help us out because that's really massively important. So I'm grateful that you're here today because I think this will be impactful. Now, if you are a part of Full Bloom, fabulous. If you're not, what is up with that? Full Bloom is happening on Saturday, September 11th. It's an all-day virtual event that I'm so excited about because this is going to help us find our purpose. This is going to help to launch a whole bunch of people. Noreen knows all about that. She's coming. And I'm telling you, I research these things. I don't just say, here's a show, blah, blah, blah. It's based on research. It's based on the wisdom of people who've gone before us. It's based on tried and true things. So when we get to pull that all together and I get to share this and we get to workshop with it, that's a needle mover. So I hope you'll consider coming. savingdinner.com/bloom. And if you need to, you can do a 2-pay on that or just, get the whole thing up front. It's worth it. And we also have amazing swag bags. Did I tell you about the swag bags? Always swag bags. And I know something for the swag bags just came from Jenny's house because I saw it sitting there in the mail. I didn't have a chance to look at it. Oh, how fun is that? Anyway, Joanne says, yes, Full Bloom is so ready. Always an amazing workshop. Thank you so much for that. Joanne, I think, has been to every single one of them. So I would listen to Joanne if I were you. All righty. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, by the way, we also have our pop. Yeah, I've got the pop-up boutique. savingdinner.com/pop if you want some cool Full Bloom gear. Everything in there is just totally the bomb.com. You'll see when you go check it out. All right. And next week, we're going to finish up attitude. Next, we're going to talk about automating stuff. Ooh, it's going to be my favorite thing because I love getting into how do I make this a little easier, a little faster, a little better. Ooh, it's going to be so good. Lisa said she can hardly wait for Full Bloom. Well, Lisa, I can hardly wait for you to come because I know I have this big, deep feeling in my heart that there's going to be a lot of connections made. I know that's going to be happening. I am projecting that out to everyone, by the way. So attitude, we've been talking about this all week and how to create it and, things that we need to look at when it comes to attitude, because our attitudes are something, it's part of our personal growth. It's part of our whole level of experience, really, for having a really vibrant life. Without a good attitude, without an attitude that's a little bit can do, and I know that sounds just a little, shucks, let's just put on a happy face. It's not quite that bad, I promise you. But I will tell you this, that our attitude is everything because it underpins, undergirds, foundationally supports a vibrant life. You can't have a stinky attitude and have a vibrant life at the same time. That's our goal. Right? That's our goal. And not to get to vibrancy, but to live vibrantly. on the daily. That's what we want. And we want that because this is why we get off the carousel of crazy and quit spending all of our time and our focus on dieting and stupid exercise and things that are just part of the whole diet culture. We've checked out of that. We have checked out of that. There is a whole bunch of body positivity, I hope, that's going on in your life. It's going on in mine. And we are now all about, we measure, we look at things. And I hope you're going to be a part of the sprint on Monday, the webinar, to explain why all of this works together. And if we take these principles and launch them into our lives, boy, oh boy, do they work. And boy, oh boy, do they just keep us now focused on some other fun things in our lives. There are other things about our lives than just being on a bloody diet, just being worried about the pair of jeans that we're going to get into, right? I am so over it. I had an interesting, I'm in a couple of Facebook groups from Peloton. I've told you about that. And just some of the stupid stuff that I see, that I can tell these women are wrapped up in the carousel of crazy. And the way we define the carousel of crazy is the diet culture, because you get on there, you go up and down with different diets, you have success, and then you get off that diet, and then it's done, and then it's time to find another guru, another diet book, another whatever, and you have success, and then you get off of it, and then you find another one, and it's all over the place. And as a result, most women that I know have sizes, 4 different sizes of jeans in their closet, me included. What's that about? That is a product of the diet culture right there. And it's time for us to accept and love ourselves right where we are right now. And it's time for us to see that. That's part of a good attitude, by the way, is not having this attitude toward ourselves that's detrimental and wrong. Big, huge thing. And our ability to choose the meaning behind the circumstances that are in our lives helps us create an attitude depending on what we see, on how we look at things. So if we see ourselves and look in the mirror, and I'm using this whole thing because we have the sprint coming up on Monday, and I'm going to use this whole thing about how we look at ourselves, how we see ourselves, the lens that we see ourselves, and how we respond in kind, because our attitudes can sink right down to the bottom of the ocean, right? What about instead if we start loving ourselves the way we are? Every single curve, every single roll, every single pound of us. What if we did that instead? What if we started there and just made a decision that, we want to fuel our lives and stop worrying about the jeans? What if our attitude was that? What if our attitude was one of, I want my life to be vibrant. I want my life to be glowing and wonderful and delicious. How about that? Huh? Lucy said, I'm liking myself. I love that, Lucy. This is our growth spiritually, by the way. Did you know that? It all connects in, because you have to remember who is seeing you. You're the apple of his eye. Do you think he says, oh, no, not you, because you're not in a pair of size 6 jeans? You are not the apple of my eye. Do you think that's what it is? It's not. It's not. And it's our growth spiritually that defines our beautiful self. You know your beautiful self. It's all wrapped up in your soul, in your intuition, into your higher self, into your knowing, your empathy, the love and the care, the deep things that is who you are in this bodysuit of yours, right? Think about it. Think about it. Nietzsche said, to live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. And is there a single soul on this planet who hasn't suffered? My goal and my mission is to help women stop suffering over how big their butts are, right? I'm so over that. I am so over all of this. I just want to get skinny. And if I hear the word skinny again, I'm going to go smack someone. I don't want to hear any of that, And now we all have to see our way through the suffering and figure it all out. And when I see somebody who's suffering because of their weight, there's a way out of that. We can find ourselves through if only we deploy an attitude that says it will. And understand that while Suffering may endureth for a night, joy cometh in the morning. Ever hear that one? How about that one? What if we looked at ourselves that way? Now, and I don't mean to say that this is the sum total of everyone's suffering. There are people who are literally suffering right now, really having a hard time with whatever's going on in their lives. And that is legitimate. I'm never going to brush it off and say that it's not legitimate. Of course it is. But, we all stumble. We all have some kind of hardship. We've all been through difficulties and heartache and pain and suffering and good grief. Haven't we? Hasn't everyone? Can we just say that there has been a sisterhood of deep suffering of some kind of magnitude? And it's not a one-upsmanship, well, your suffering versus my suffering, yours is different and mine's different. We can't have that kind of a thing. We can't say, well, my suffering's a whole lot worse than yours because blah, blah, blah. We can't do that. Or we can, but why would we do that? Why would we not instead understand that everyone suffers? And because everyone suffers, it is a sisterhood, and it is a part and parcel of what we have to live with. But the right attitude and knowing that hard times will pass, because they always do, will help. And you keep getting up, this is the time to rise up. This is the time to find a way. You want to know something else? This is how you get gritty and not quitty, right? So we can surrender to suffering or surrender our suffering to the one who loves us, to the one who put us here in the first place. Do you not think for a minute that he doesn't see the suffering, that he doesn't love you through it? And I think when we start to understand that, then we can get through it a whole lot easier. So I know it sounds kind of crazy. Like, how do you possibly get through suffering, right? How do you possibly have a good attitude, get through suffering at the same time? Well, I'm going to give you 10 things, 10 that will help, because you're not alone in your suffering, by the way. You're not. There is a sisterhood of sufferers around. We are either post-suffering, or there's suffering coming in our future, or we're in the midst of it, because that's part of our life. That's part of life. Again, I've never met anyone who hasn't suffered in some way or another. And it's just the choice of making your attitude bloom into and understand that you have that choice to do so. And it makes a big time difference. And I will also say this about suffering, that while we suffer, we don't have to drag suffering with us like it's a ball and chain on our foot. We can put the suffering away for a minute. We don't have to drag it out all the time, right? Anyway, so 10 things. How can you possibly have a good attitude in the midst of suffering? There's 10 ways. The first one is gratitude. You knew I was going to say that, right? I cannot underscore that enough. I cannot tell you how important this is. Suffering is a thing, definitely. But gratitude kind of puts it back into the box for a minute. Gratitude helps us to see things, even if it's just a hot shower. Gratitude helps us to see things from a different perspective. Gratitude, and the studies show this, the studies show us that when we have gratitude for even the smallest things, that everything shifts. We start to see things differently. Perspective is different. Love for others is different. Patience, kindness, empathy. All from gratitude, right? Lucy knows. We talked about this, Lucy, haven't we? Isolation, when we choose to isolate as opposed to being out with people, we find ourselves going in a very miserable way, but we find ourselves also illuminated and lit up by gratitude. Lucy knows this personally. She's lived it. And look at her. She's here, which I think is so important. See, Kathy says, yes, even in this season of suffering for me, I focus on gratitude. And I bet it's made a big difference. And I will tell you this too. The studies show that people who are suffering with, literal physical pain, when they're focused on gratitude, the pain is less. There's so much to this. So gratitude is number one. And if you don't have a gratitude journal, if you're not writing down, if you have a Take Back Your Life journal, all the better. The Take Back Your Life journal, we encourage you to write down 3 things every single day because it shifts your focus every single day. Makes all the difference in the world. Number 2 is a little self-care treat that you can do for yourself daily. It could be something as simple as buffing your nails or taking a bath or putting a mask on your face or whatever it is. Whatever it is, you just do that little thing, write it down and watch how when you've written it down and then you've done it, how much different it makes you, how much difference it makes for you. It's huge. It will blow things up. It's amazing because that little self-care is saying that I count, I'm loved, and I'm just going to do this one little thing just to love my little self up. It makes a difference. It piles on in a different way. So every single day, a little something. You can figure that out. Number 3, have a strong morning ritual. Now we teach about rituals. We've taken the term routine, which that's what Fly Lady taught us, right? And not just the routine for what you do with your house, but the routine for what you do for yourself. And our ritual transforms our lives. And when you set up a morning like that, then you have put together, first of all, that you've calmed and you've meditated. You've written gratitudes in your journal. You've written out your goals for yourself. Everything shifts because you've got this strong morning ritual. It keeps you on target. It keeps you on task. It keeps your focus in the correct place. It's incredible what happens with a strong daily morning routine and ritual. And I say this because it's a setup for your day. It's a setup for your day. I get my morning ritual done every single day, but I'm hit and miss sometimes in the evening. And that's okay because when I'm doing my morning, I just check off what I did the night before. But I know that if I'm in there every morning, I have on top of mind my I am goals, top of mind. I have on top of mind the gratitude that I just wrote about. I have on top of mind my everything that I'm working toward. And isn't that what you want? That lights up the whole day. It helps to have us see things in a whole different way. We start seeing things in a different way. We start shifting with the attitude. 4 is stay away. We talked about this from the negative news, negative social media. Don't get drawn into these trolly talking things, memes and all of that. Everything is, everything seems to be controversial these days. Everyone has an opinion and everyone has a belly button, for heaven's sakes. Just leave it alone. You can walk away. You can. You do not have to comment on it. You do not have to even if they tick you off, keep scrolling. No need to stay there because what does that do? That now shifts your focus. What does that put you on? This whole negative thing and defending and this, that, and the other. It's just nonsense. Why would we want to do that? I don't get that. Number 5. This is a good one. Laugh. Laugh. This is why I only watch funny movies. You know why I only watch funny movies? I don't want to watch something depressing. I don't want to watch something that's terrible. I don't want to watch something that's violent and what have you. It shakes me up. I'm tender that way. I'm not afraid to admit it. And I'm very adamant about it. No, I will not. And even some of these action thrillers, can't do them. A scary movie, never. But listen, when you laugh, you release endorphins. When you laugh, you get a good dose of dopamine and you feel good, don't you? Something funny. And what is it? It just puts you in a good mood. And yeah, mood and attitude they pretty much go hand in hand. It really helps. That's my number 5. Strong number 5. I love a good laugh. Number 6, take a break. Take a break from your suffering. If you are one of those who are just rolling around constantly in your suffering, take a break from it. Just say, I'm taking a mental block. I'm going to take an emotional lap. That's what they say all the time in Peloton. Like, go take an emotional lap. If this is hard, just go take a lap and then get back into it. Well, there you go. This is the same kind of a thing. Take a break from it. Just say, you know what? I'm going to go out. I'm going to go see a movie, have lunch with a friend or whatever. I'm going to leave my suffering at home. Because suffering doesn't necessarily mean you have to be suffering 24 hours a day. Take a break. Number 7, and I mean this with all of my heart, meditate, don't medicate. You know how many women I have spoken to that are on some kind of mood altering medication? Not that it isn't necessary for some folks, but is it necessarily all the time? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that's the first thing we should default to. I think we should meditate before we start medicating, right? And if you don't believe me, go take a deep dive and read what meditation does. Read how it calms you down, how it centers you, how it pulls you in to who you are. Because I will tell you, I have been on antidepressants before, and it made me feel numb and weird. I couldn't connect to anything. Couldn't feel good or feel bad. I just felt kind of there, like I was just inexistent. And that's not the way that's not how we're built. If we want to get out of the suffering, we need to have a practice of meditation every single flipping day, right? Every day. Centering, calming. Everything about it will bring you back to a place. It doesn't eliminate suffering. Nothing will eliminate suffering. Nothing does, except that the circumstances changing. But meditation helps you to get back to center and to calm and to keep you in a place of being able to cope. Boom, just like that. Number 8 is music. I will tell you, turn on some fun music. Turn on music that you love, especially music that'll make you groove your thing. Shake your groove thing and get it on, right? Dance, move, do something, and allow the music to take you away. Allow it to carry you away. Allow it to be your guide for just a small period of time. It'll make a big difference. Number 9 is allow for the crappy days. There are going to be days where you're just down. I have been in the place where I've literally had my face on the floor, nose to nose with shag carpet of all things. Gross, right? But this is the little condo that I lived in a long, long time ago. And it was what those days of rug eating repentance is what I want to call it, because I had, some real crappy things that happened in my life, some really awful things. And some of it I had control over and it was my fault. Some of it wasn't. But I've been in that place and I just suffered and I just allowed for it and I let the waves come. I felt them and experienced them. For a day, I gave myself a day to do it. A day. Allowed for it. But I made up my mind that the next day that wasn't going to be the case. And when it got so overwhelming, that is when I went on an antidepressant, because it was overwhelming. And I was I think I've shared this with you. I was very specific about it. And I said, okay, told the doctor, this is what happened in my life. I'm really having a bad time. I want 3 months. I believe it was 3 months, 12 weeks or 8 weeks, something like that. Of medication. That's all I want. And I was very specific about which one, because I didn't also want to take a medication that was also going to make me gain weight, because that's double depressing. Some of them do, by the way, 10 to 20 pounds. Very normal side effect. That to me is just no. And you know what? Because I gave myself a time schedule for this, I allowed for the crap. I was allowing for the crappy time. And I was allowing myself to take a break from it a little bit. And then at the end of it, teaching myself at the same time some coping skills, doing other things, exercising, all these things that I'm telling you about. And it made a big, big difference. It made a big difference. And it also made me understand that I could, experience bad feelings without having to wallow in them, without having to roll around in them and just live in them. We all do. And it's just part of the life equation, isn't it? But it doesn't mean we have to live there. And number 10 is there's nature, there's art, and there is that friend, those friends of yours who just light you up. We all have friends like that. Thank God, right? We all have friends like that. Call that friend. Be with that friend. Go have lunch or something with that friend. Get out in nature, take a walk, and just look at the beauty that's around you. I mean, I'm doing it right now. I'm looking at the beauty that's around me, just looking outside my window right now. It's so gorgeous, so beautiful. And when you allow the gratitude to come with that, that's when all the good stuff starts to flow. And then there's art, I have Lucy, speaking of art, I've got Lucy's art in my office. And I get to see that beautiful, these beautiful mosaic, beautiful colored glass with the sunshine coming in. Come on. That is just incredible and beautiful. How can you not love that, right? So those are the 10 things that I have for you, because you know what? Here's the thing. You can have the best attitude in the world and then all of a sudden get bowled over with something tragic or horrible happening in your life or out of your control. That doesn't mean that you have to live there. There are ways of coping with them, with those kind of things. And I just want you to remember that, because this is the thing that's so important and so incredibly needle moving, I believe, is that when we can separate this stuff out and we can say, this is crappy, but here is what I'm choosing to do anyway, we can elevate and get beyond all of it. It's true, we can. We have the ability to do it, and these are the tools. What do you think? Yeah? Pinkies up? Thank you so much for joining me. Peace be with you. We're off tomorrow, Sunday. We're going to be the team will be home enjoying their family. I hope you will be too. And we plan on being back on Monday with automation. We're going to be talking about automation and how to make it happen. You ready for that? It's going to be an awesome week. I'm really, really excited about it. Go check out savingsdinner.com/bloom. Now's the time to get your tickets. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.